Hi. Well, you might remember a few weeks ago I had to clean out all of the cupboards around the nav table to get to the back of the shell where there was some more fiberglass damage. And what I did at the time is I just emptied everything into some plastic buckets, or plastic containers rather, and there was one 65-litre container absolutely full to the top and a 35-litre container as well. There was lots of interesting things going in there, but I didn't really have a chance to look at everything carefully. I just basically moved everything into those containers so that I could sort of get it away. And I thought I'd come back to it later to sort of check out what was there. And I did see some interesting letters or envelopes which I wanted to come back to and have a look at again later, which I've just done recently. So basically I found some letters to Pantaenius, which is the insurance company, and I'd opened those up kind of suspecting that they might have actually been something to do with a repair claim, and I'd hoped that they'd give me some more information on what had actually happened to Wanda. And this is quite interesting. So here I've got a yacht hull damage claim form that was faxed from the previous owner back to Pantaenius. Now it's dated 21st of December 2001, so a fair time ago. And the description is this: the type of damage or insurance vessel estimated repair costs. So it's listed as damage to the rudder, bottom, electronics and personal belongings. There's a company here which is listed to do the repairs, and I guess I need to be a little bit careful about what information I give away with data privacy and that, so I won't say that. But essentially the claim is for, basically it's a stolen vessel claim. So here we've got a description of the incident. And again, I might just have to sort of cover over some of the sensitive data. But basically it reads, myself and one crew member started off in Barbados on 18th of December en route to St. Martin. ETD Barbados, 18th of December 2001, 5 o'clock p.m. We sailed off north and we had thunderstorms, squalls, heavy rain and very heavy winds most of the journey. In the evening of the 20th of December we passed close to Antigua and we decided to go in and get some sleep due to the fact that we had arrived after sunset. We went to a bay south of St. John due to the fact that I knew there would be boats without anchor lights, etc., etc. My crew member decided that he wanted to get off in Antigua, so we went off in the morning of the 21st of December to go and contact the various authorities and for me to buy some minor supplies. We left the boat in the bay alone, no other boats around. Whilst we were assured to conduct our business, I believe somebody boarded the boat and moved it to rob it elsewhere as to not get interrupted. When I discovered that the boat was missing, I went to the English Harbour Police to report it. I was then advised at this time from a chap from a salvage company that he'd sighted the boat on Cage's Reef and advised the Coast Guard and proceeded over towards Wanda. This person confirmed that the boat had been ransacked. He salvaged the boat and towed it to English Harbour. At the time I was still assisting the authorities who advised me of the situation. Interestingly enough, there's about 3 or 4 different transcripts like this, different versions of the description of what had actually happened. And another one that actually says, somebody decided to steal the boat and rob it. They managed to get inside through a hatch. I discovered that the boat was stolen and went to the police and the Coast Guard. It seems like the robbers weren't used to the deep draft and they bumped the boat on a reef and lost the rudder and capability to steer the boat. However, at this time, this person from this towing salvage company sighted the boat and drove over to Wanda, and all the local boats took off from the scene and left the boat unmanned. The salvage person then salvaged the boat and towed it back to the English harbour. So this version of it actually says that they'd ran it onto a reef, that then damaged the rudder, lost control of the boat and sort of left it there and skedaddled with some stolen electronics from the inside. So there we go. Wanda was allegedly stolen, run into a reef, and sustained some damage to her rudder and, well, it just says bottom. So now I'm wondering if, in fact, all of those marks along the port side of the keel and around the turn of the bilge, all of that damage, wasn't actually a result of being beached and lying on her side, but it was a result of being wedged on a rock ledge of a reef. Now it's interesting because if this claim was honoured, then he would have received a payout to go and get all of the repairs done. And as I showed you in previous footage, the repairs don't really look like professional quality. There's no laminate that was laid up and fed back to get it smooth and everything. It's just this sort of epoxy thick paste that was rubbed in over some damaged glass, and then a massive epoxy filler was used to try and get it round again. So, you know, maybe he pocketed the money and just paid somebody a little bit of that to do a bodge job on it to patch it up. Difficult to say. I've also found in this package a fax from Hallberg-Rassy Parts and Accessories back to him, and it's about discussing the rudder shaft and the rudder. The rudder shaft is 3,600 Swedish kroners, delivery times 2 to 3 weeks. So obviously the rudder had been rebuilt, and that makes sense because we can see something about the rudder doesn't look quite right. It's not quite straight. The bottom was damaged, as we can see. There's all that filler along the bottom of the keel. The sides were damaged. And there's a list of electronics that was stolen. Yet the interesting thing that I've found, which is kind of cool, is the original certificate of hull construction issued by the Lloyd's Register. And as you can see here, it's the original. It's dated, I guess, 1st the 9th, 1989. It's either the 9th of January or the 1st of September, depending on their convention. There's hull number 710. And this page we can actually see somebody that's gone through and signed off on the completion of all these components: shell laminate, longitudinal frames, bottom longitudinal frames, joinery, integral tanks, etc. So yeah, it's all very interesting, and it's answered some questions, but it's left a lot of other questions unanswered. This was done a long time ago, 2001, so 17 years ago. So was this running into a reef? Was that what was responsible for cracking the fuel tank, which is in the keel? Maybe if the whole keel ran aground and had a bit of a shudder, then maybe that split this stainless steel fuel tank, and that's why the tank has been leaking. But that was a long time ago, so does that mean for 17 years he wasn't using that fuel tank? Who did the repairs? Why weren't they done properly? Yeah, and then the second incident in the hurricane where she was bashed against the pontoon, and that's when she experienced all that really bad impact cracks on the side of the top sides, and the broken up cap rail and the busted up tow rail. So, you know, she's had a really hard life by the sounds of things. Not one but two fairly serious accidents or incidents, on top of all the other bits and pieces that come with an aging boat. Yeah, she's lived hard.